The stock market heaves a big sigh of relief on a possible review of tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Midcap leads the charge, with utilities, realty and metals outperforming. Coforge stitches up a hefty near $1.6 billion 13-year contract with American travel major Subway, marking the presence in big deals arena. The stock gets a leg up. NSE bats for a uniform expiry date across all stock exchanges to curtail excessive speculation, says expiries on different days of the week by the exchanges defeats SEBI's objective. Amid signals of tariff talks with Canada and Mexico, U.S. President Donald Trump rages on in Congress, backing reciprocal tariffs and barriers, promising tax cuts, more oil and interest-free loans for automobiles. India gets signaled out for high duties on car imports. Despite U.S. tariffs, China sees GDP growing at 5% with a domestic push. A higher fiscal deficit target will help stimulate demand even as it stabilizes the property market and restructures its steel mills. Metals gain on cue. Hello, good afternoon. You've tuned into Business Lunch, coming live from CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal Studios, and I'm Vinny Motiwala. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning into Business Lunch this afternoon. A good afternoon shaping up, a good day shaping up for the markets. Like you can see, it's all green across the screen on the top of my head as well. So yes, green is what we're watching out for today, and Nifty 22,350 level. So, you know, in the last couple of hours, especially since 12 o'clock, we have seen this 22,300 level continue to hold for the Nifty 50. So almost in the day's highest point is what it's sustaining at as of now in terms of the Nifty. Sensex 2 is doing quite well, holding on to gains of more than 1% in today's trading session. Let's pull up the advanced decline ratio today. That's a very interesting one because clearly more than 2,000 stocks are in the favor of advances versus a decline that we have of around 312 stocks. So 2,351 stocks on the advance side versus 312 on the decline front. All sectors today are managing to hold on to very, very strong gains. So there's no complaining on that front. Other than that, I would like to just say that, mid and small cap, a lot of names have been doing well. The outperformance is coming in on that front from the Nifty mid cap as well as the small cap. Both are managing to hold on to gains of almost more than 2%, right? Even, yes, small cap is also 2.3% in today's trading session. So outperformance clearly is coming in on that front. A lot of stocks on the mid and small cap front that I would like to highlight is on the broader market front. Akums Drug, Adani Energy, IIFL Finance, CI Automotive, Reddington, Deepak Fertilizers. These are some of the names that are managing to hold on to some good gains. But yes, on that note, let's begin today's show by focusing on the top news of the day. In his first address to the Congress, U.S. President Donald Trump spoke highly of the achievements of his administration and commented on how other countries have taken advantage of the United States through tariffs. Listen in.
Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market.
Now, earlier on in the day, Canada's Prime Minister reacted to tariffs that the US imposed on the country. He called the tariff imposed by US illegal actions and said that Trump's decision, and I quote, is very dumb. Listen in.
Now, it's not in my habit to agree with the Wall Street Journal, but Donald, they point out that even though you're a very smart guy, this is a very dumb thing to do. Today, we will also be challenging these illegal actions by filing dispute resolution claims at the World Trade Organization and through the USMCA. And should these tariffs not cease, we are in active and ongoing discussions with provinces and territories to pursue several non-tariff measures. Measures which will demonstrate that there are no winners in a trade war.
While a new set of tariffs took effect yesterday, President Trump threatened more tariffs on agriculture imports and on raw materials like steel, copper and lumber.
I have also imposed a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber and steel because if we don't have, as an example, steel, and lots of other things, we don't have a military and frankly we just won't have a country very long. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America and our farmers starting on April 2nd. It may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now.
And after a disastrous meeting last week at the Oval Office, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has reiterated that he is willing to engage in peace negotiations. Here's President Donald Trump's take on it.
I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war.
And moving on, the three-day National People's Congress meeting began in Beijing today. The NPC is the highest legislative body in China for approving the decisions taken by Politburo. The meeting will primarily focus on repairing China's falling economic growth. Watch this report to know the key highlights of day one.
China's parliament is holding its annual meeting under the shadow of US tariffs. With President Xi Jinping looking on, lawmakers on Wednesday committed extra money to boost the economy. China will now issue some $179 billion in special bonds to lift growth. That includes money to subsidize purchases of electric vehicles, appliances and other goods. Premier Li Qiang said the country faced increasing external pressures. Since coming to power in January, US President Donald Trump has added 20% to existing tariffs on Chinese goods.
China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them.
And economists bet there could be more to come. China on Tuesday shot back with its own duties on US exports, and the mounting trade war has put pressure on Beijing to take new stimulus measures. China also faces headwinds including weak household spending and a debt-laden property sector. Even so, Li said the country would set the same growth target as last year.
The key expected development targets for this year are economic growth of around 5%, an urban unemployment rate surveyed at around 5.5%, over 12 million new urban jobs, a consumer price increase of around 2%, resident income growth in line with economic growth, and a basically balanced international balance of payments.
Since the pandemic, China has bet on what it calls new productive forces, pouring money into things like advanced manufacturing. But economists have urged Beijing to do more to reduce the country's dependence on exports. On Wednesday, Li said the government would take steps to boost household spending, currently far below the global average. However, he offered no timeline for the measures.
Okay, on that note, we're actually going to slip into a very short break, viewers. Don't go anywhere, but here's some good news coming in for you. India's business news leader is now a click away, introducing CNBC-TV18's all-new app. Get instant access to breaking news, in-depth articles and financial world updates at your fingertips. Download CNBC-TV18 app now from the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, or just scan the QR code on your screens. Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned into Business Lunch on CNBC TV18. Let's get a bit more stock specific now. BSE, that's the stock in focus today. We're seeing a fall that came in for the stock price today. Now, we do have Vamakshi who is joining in with us to give us the reasons behind this. There was a shift that came in from NSE in terms of the weekly expiry date from Thursday to Monday. Vamakshi, please tell us more details on this front, the impact that comes in for BSE as well.
Well, absolutely, Winnie. You know, NSE has decided to shift the expiry date for Nifty index weekly derivatives contracts from Thursday to Monday, and this change will come into effect from April 4, 2025. In addition to, that Nifty monthly, quarterly, as well as half-yearly contracts, as well as some other indices like Bank Nifty, Fin Nifty, and among several others will also come under this purview. Now, given this shift, why is BSE under pressure? That's the big question, right? Now, keep in mind that BSE had revised its weekly contracts expiry to Tuesday from Friday earlier, and this came into effect from Jan 1st. So since that shift came into place, market share for BSE on Mondays has ranged between 20 to 22%, and on Fridays it has ranged between 15 to 17%. So with this shift from NSE now coming in, the expectation is that volumes could potentially move on Mondays and Fridays from BSE to NSE. However, this could possibly be offset by one factor, that is the market share may move towards BSE on Thursdays, which was the erstwhile expiry day for the Nifty. Analysts said that the market share on Thursday for BSE has averaged between 5 to 7% since Jan 2025, and this could potentially offset the negative that could come through. However, BSE has been under pressure for quite some time. In fact, since its highs in February, the stock has corrected over 30%. Again, in the month of February, towards the end, there was a consultation paper, and Goldman Sachs had said that this does not bode well for the exchange. They in fact went ahead and cut their target price as well to 4,880 rupees per share. So overall, when we look at the news flow surrounding BSE, not so positive. The stock is declining in trade today.
Okay, Vamakshi, thank you so much for that. As of now, BSE surely did make side wicket of a recovery from the day's lowest point. In fact, earlier on the day, we also spoke to Shriram, who is the Chief Business Development Officer at NSE, to understand the rationale as to why they changed the expiry day. Listen in.
Single day for all expiries in the entire market is the real solution. And so proliferation of weekly expiries on every day of the week through multiple exchanges, like MSCI, for example, has a plan. Likewise, NCDEX seems to have a plan. MCX seems to have a plan. Then there could be OTCAI who might come up with a plan. So proliferation of weekly expiries through multiple exchanges is no different from one exchange potentially offering expiries on every day of the week. So perhaps, the solution lies in one single expiry for the entire market. Responsibility to collectively upgrade and build capacity in the market. Yeah. And if that's the case, then we should be limiting expiries with respect to the expiry date. And you've seen, expiry day shifts being undertaken by other exchanges, and there are also some new exchanges who are planning a foray into equity derivatives to launch weekly expiries. I think it all follows from the SEBI rules, which require only one expiry per exchange. But if the intention of the regulators is to have one expiry, I think it makes sense to choose the optimal day of the week. The rationale for this decision is more to take into account the fact that there are lots of geopolitical events, developments over the weekend, and Monday is a great day to therefore have the expiries.
Okay, on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break, but here's a small programming note for our viewers. CNBC-TV18 and HSBC India are back with the Season 2 of SME Champion Awards. This prestigious platform celebrates SMEs that are pushing boundaries, making an impact and shaping the future. Nominations are now open. Scan the QR code now and submit your entry for SME Champions Awards Season 2. Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned into Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18. Now, on to some good news from the world of sports. India defeated Australia by 4 wickets to storm into the finals of the ICC Championship Trophy 2025. India chased down a target of 265 runs in 48.1 overs. Virat Kohli shone with 84 runs knock, while Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul and Hardik Pandya also played the crucial knocks. Mohammad Shami played a key role in helping India bowl Australia out at 4-264 earlier on in that day. That was yesterday. Now, for Australia, Steve Smith was the top scorer with 73 runs off 96 balls. Meanwhile, following the team's loss, Smith has announced his retirement from one-day internationals. And as we wrap this edition of Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18, just wanted to get your attention to PM Modi's Vantara visit. The Prime Minister inaugurated and visited Wildlife Rescue, Rehabilitation and Conservation Centre. Vantara, that is a home to more than 2,000 species and over 1.5 lakh rescued, endangered and threatened animals. The Prime Minister commended Anand Ambani as well as his team for what he called a very compassionate effort. Also calling Vantara a unique wildlife conservation, rescue and rehabilitation initiative which provides a safe haven for animals while promoting ecological sustainability and wildlife welfare. Reactions pour in from everywhere, with Anand Mahindra saying that the level of care and expertise that Anand Ambani has put together at Vantara is truly impressive and cutting edge. While Sachin Tendulkar says that the passion and commitment of Anand and his team towards wildlife conservation is commendable. Actor Ranveer Singh hailed Anand's generosity, while the filmmaker Karan Johar says Anand's compassion and care for animals is beyond admirable. Both of them also call Prime Minister's visit to Vantara a momentous occasion. Okay, and with that, we're absolutely out of time in this edition of Business Lunch. So thank you so much for tuning in.